remember thinking after my mom died, and I still do sometimes, that I wish I would have been more present and more grateful for the times leading up to her death. It was really a hard time, and I wanted it to be over for her. And I was in pain, and she was in pain, but she was still her. And I think back to those smiles, and even though she couldn't communicate, having her presence. And it makes me sad, and I long for it. Same goes for the times with our kids. I bet you do the same thing. You know, I look back at the hard times of being the babiness, and then even the preteen, because I have teenagers now. And the hard times and struggling as a family and having nothing, and I look back and I think, wow, why couldn't I see how much beauty was in that mess, or that mess that I felt? Those are regrets. I know we say as Christians we shouldn't regret, because we're leaning into the Lord and we're learning things from Him, and no matter what mistakes we make, we are loved by Him and accepted. And but those are regrets, because regret can mask itself in feelings of sadness, nostalgia, longing. So think to some of the things that perhaps you're not letting yourself have regrets. And I believe that. I don't think that you should. Although the Lord regretted it in Genesis 6:6, and it was right after Adam and Eve. And He said, the Lord said, the Lord regretted that He made humans. And that surprised me. I was like, wow, I don't think that we're supposed to regret. I don't think that the Lord ever regretted, but He did. And actually, if you look at it in Hebrew, the word translates to sadness, which is why I say oftentimes we think we're not regretting, but it's being masked as sadness, nostalgia, and longing. What are those times that keep on coming back up in your life? For me, it was that time looking back at those years of my mom. I mean, even to the point of, I remember being 5-6 years in and thinking, wow, I was so upset that she was getting sick and she was losing her memory. And really, those were good times that I should have been holding on to, because now it's so much worse. And then 3 years later, oh, now it's so much worse. That time wasn't so bad. Those are actually regrets masked as sadness and longing and nostalgia. So write those out. Where are those times in your life? Where are those things that keep on coming back up that really could be regret, and it's being masked by these other emotions? Give those to God. Write them out. What are the feelings that are coming up from those? Then look back at those feelings and remember that feelings can be liars. I really did hold on to my mom. I really did have wonderful times. I really was very present as a parent, and I still am when they were babies. I was enjoying that. Things can get a little bit muddled in your brain, and the memories aren't right, and the regret starts to take over and make you feel guilty, and it shouldn't. Ecclesiastes 7:10. Paraphrasing here. It's not wise for us to say things like, why were the old days better than these? We shouldn't look back in regret. Change those memories and those thoughts, those nostalgia and sadness and longing, and change those into what were the good times in that situation. And give it to God too, if there was no good time, if it truly is regret and it's not something that, it is something that's taking over, you need to definitely give that to God. So write down, what are your regrets? What are the emotions that are, in plain sight that might be masking those regrets? What are the difficult emotions that you need to give to Him? Write those down. Journal it out and get it out. God bless.